Hey, and welcome. Think of this less as a video and more as a personal consultation. We're going to dive deep, perform a little surgery on our habits and our ambition, and really figure out what's holding us back. By the end, you'll have a clear diagnosis and a powerful prescription for success. So let's get started.
So does this look familiar? That feeling when you've had a mountain of work, a huge deadline looming, but you just feel completely and totally drained. You feel stuck, you feel unmotivated. And the crazy part is, you haven't even done that much all day. Well, I'm here to tell you, you are not alone in this. And more importantly, you're not broken. Okay, the first thing we've got to get straight is this. Procrastination, that feeling of laziness, it isn't the actual disease. It's just a symptom. You know, it's like a fever. A fever isn't the sickness, it's a sign that your body's fighting something off. In the same way, feeling lazy is just a signal that your mind is fighting something deeper. Maybe it's fear, maybe it's burnout, or just a lack of focus. And the good news is, if it's a symptom, we can treat the root cause. To get to that root cause, our diagnosis is going to use two incredibly powerful lenses. We're going to look at this through the eyes of modern science and through the wisdom of timeless faith. Let's see what they show us. You know, this famous supplication represents a huge mindset shift. When you say this, you're not just passively wishing you felt better. No. This is an active declaration of war. It's a statement that you are ready to fight back against these feelings. It is the very first step in your action plan. So, let's diagnose the first major symptom, this epidemic of energy drain. That constant, nagging fatigue that so many of us feel. This is the million-dollar question, isn't it? I've been sitting at my desk all day, why do I feel absolutely exhausted? Well, the answer has very little to do with physical energy. It's all about your brain chemistry and your spiritual state. And here we see the two sides of that coin. The doctor, or science, tells us your brain is basically experiencing chemical boredom. All that scrolling and notification checking floods your brain with cheap, easy dopamine. So when it's time to do actual hard work, your brain's got no fuel left in the tank. The spiritual perspective has a name for this too, rafla, or heedlessness. It's when all that mindless consumption makes the heart feel heavy and the mind unfocused. See the connection? And here's what that looks like visually. Just look at that huge, sharp spike you get from scrolling. It's instant gratification. Compare that to the slow, steady, but much more satisfying climb you get from deep, meaningful work. Your brain is literally wired to chase that easy hit, but true lasting satisfaction, that only comes from the sustained effort. So, what's the fix? How do we break this cycle? We need a pattern interrupt. We need a way to hit a giant reset button on both our nervous system and our spiritual state to snap us out of that loop of chemical boredom and spiritual heedlessness. And here's the prescription, wudu, or ablution. This is amazing. Scientifically, the simple act of washing your face and hands with cool water can actually reset your nervous system and calm you down. And spiritually, it's this profound act of purification that completely refreshes your mind and prepares you for whatever's next. It is the ultimate two-for-one solution. Okay, so we've reset our energy. Awesome. Now let's tackle the next big symptom, action paralysis. You know that feeling of being totally frozen by just how big our goals are. So check this out. Here's what's happening inside your head. When you look at that giant textbook or that massive project plan, your brain's little fear center, the amygdala, it doesn't see a book, it sees a predator. I'm not kidding. And it triggers a biological freeze response, what we call analysis paralysis. So listen, this isn't a character flaw, it's a brain thing. And since it's a brain thing, we can use a little brain hack to get around it. The prescription is the 5-minute rule, and it is brilliant. You basically trick your amygdala by telling yourself, I'm just going to work on this for 5 minutes. The task doesn't seem like a threat anymore. The hardest part of anything is just getting started. And this little trick gets you right over that first hurdle. Now let's pair that little science hack with a piece of spiritual wisdom that is the ultimate cure for anxiety. It's all about understanding what you are and are not responsible for. It's simple. Your only job is to make the effort. Your only job is to tie the camel. And you know what? Committing to those 5 minutes, that is tying your camel. The outcome, the final grade, whether you succeed or fail, that is not your burden to carry. And that mindset, it frees you up to just begin. So we've started. We're in motion. But how do we win the ongoing mind game? Let's talk about focus and the crippling fear of failure. I want you to let this number really sink in. 23 minutes. That's how long it takes, on average, to get back into a state of deep focus after you check just one notification, one text, one email. You don't just lose 30 seconds, you lose almost half an hour of productivity. Multitasking is a total myth. It's really just task switching, and it makes you way less effective.
So the spiritual prescription for focus is this concept of ihsan, or excellence. It means reframing your work. Your study session is no longer a chore. It's an act of worship. Think about it. You wouldn't check your phone in the middle of a prayer, would you? Ihsan means giving your work that same level of presence, that same sanctity.
And what about that fear of failure? Well, check out these two powerhouse mindsets that absolutely crush that fear. Science gives us the growth mindset, which says failure is just data. When you make a mistake, your brain physically builds stronger connections. You literally get smarter from your errors. And faith gives us the Kadra mindset. What is meant for you will never miss you. Your job is sincere effort, and that effort is always rewarded no matter what the worldly outcome is.
Okay, we've diagnosed the symptoms, we've explored the cures, now it's time to bring it all together and write out your final prescription.
Because at the end of the day, all the tips and techniques in the world are useless without a powerful engine driving you forward. The most important question you can ask isn't how to be productive, it's why. Why are you doing this in the first place? That's your core motivation.
This all comes down to the concept of niyyah, or intention. You have to reframe your work. You're not just studying for a test. You're a future doctor, learning how to save a life. You're a future engineer, figuring out how to build a bridge that connects a community. When you connect your day-to-day tasks to a higher purpose, your struggle is transformed into something noble. It becomes a spiritual act.
So here it is, your prescription, the very first dose of your treatment, and I want you to take it immediately after this. Step 1, delete one distracting app from your phone. Just one. Go on, you can do it. Step 2, go make wudu to physically and mentally reset yourself. And step 3, commit to just 20 minutes of pure, uninterrupted, focused work. That's it. That's how you start.
And with that, our consultation is complete. You have the diagnosis, you have the prescription in your hand. The only question left is the most important one of all, and only you have the answer. When are you going to begin?